It is time. Hello and welcome to episode number 210 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. We are here for the final show of 2021, both in-game and in... No, actually not in real life, because technically this will be going up on the 30th, so... New Year's Eve will be the end-of-year awards, so that will be the actual real-life last episode of 2021. But this will be the final wrestling show of 2021, both in-game and in real life, with the SmackDown branded Absolute Zero pay-per-view. We've got quite a stacked card. I don't think it's as stacked as the high voltage one I just did from Raw, but oh well, they can't all be as stacked as each other. I think it would have been better had Buddy Murphy not have got injured, because he'd have been fighting Randy Orton on this show. But whatever. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into the show. A 68 for this is actually pretty decent, because, like, it's a bunch of unimportant and recognisable people. But it is, of course, the New Americas, Babatunde Ayagbashi and Yujiro Kushida, who beat Southwell Subculture when Kushida pins Webster with a Supernova press. Obviously, I'm going to give New America the win. They're the one who's just been repackaged, and they got their big dub here tonight. Kushida got a 69, 52 for Babatunde, 59 for Webster, and a 65 for Mark Andrews. And yeah, that concludes the kickoff match. We then go to the big opening video package, showcasing all of tonight's best matches. The WWE Championship main event between Roman Reigns and Johnny Gargano. We got Queen Sasha defending the SmackDown Women's title against Tegan Nox. We got Dolph Ziggler, the United States Champion, who's not even an employee of WWE, putting his title on the line against Robert Roode, and Sami Zayn versus Mustafa Ali. If Sami loses, he must join New America. But before all that, Women's Tag Team Championship action as the champions, the Fire Pit, Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon, defend against Io Shirai and Kairi Sane. After the main event of the Christmas show, I've got a good feeling about the rating of this match. Apparently there was a lack of psychology because this went a little bit longer. It went 14:29 instead of, I think, 11 minutes the main event on that SmackDown went. So they got an 82. And in the end, Io Shirai pins Ember Moon with the Acai Moonsault. And we have new Women's Tag Team Champions for the second time. For the second year in a row, Io and Kairi reign in the new year as the Women's Tag Team Champions. 78 for Kairi, 97 for Io, 72 for Ember, and a 70 for Shotzi. That's still pretty good opener. It's not as good as the SmackDown main event, which is what I sort of had my sights set on. But I guess, the 3 minutes was just too much for Io to carry, and it all descended into chaos, apparently. Whoa! This I didn't expect to do this good. In an 8-minute match, Dijakovic actually gets the win over Jimmy Uso. He pins him with the Feast Your Eyes in 7:59. For an 80 rated match, Jimmy gets a 70 because that's his hard cap, I guess, on both ratings and popularity. And Dijakovic gets a 76 for his performance. That's pretty fucking good from him. But yeah, Big Dij, T-Bar, Feast Your Eyes. He gets a big pay. I think this might actually be his first pay-per-view win. So yeah, that's nice. The random generator gave us this feud. Oh, it's because it's part of the Roman story, I guess, is why it did so good. But before that, we then get the next fight between a member of the Bloodline and a member of the not Bloodline they're feuding with. This one also had the tendency to drift a little, because nobody on this fucking mod has psychology for some reason. And Jacob Fatu picked up the win for Big E. I didn't have to protect Big E. He could have lost this fair and square, but I chose to protect him for reasons that will become apparent soon. But yeah, Fatu gets the win. He remains undefeated. Nobody's ever pinned, or I don't think he's even been on the losing team. But he certainly has never been pinned or submitted in his time in WWE. He gets an 83 and Big E gets an 81. We then just got a fill time on the pay-per-view, so Bron Breakker gets his upcoming vignette. His hernia is nearly healed, and he'll be coming to SmackDown in a few weeks' time. Sometime in January, he'll make his in-ring debut on... Well, not actually not his in-ring debut, because he's already wrestled Randy on SmackDown, but his debut as a member of the SmackDown roster sometime next month. 75, This show's sort of coasting right now. In the SmackDown Tag Team title match, 12:31 it goes. AJ and Omos retain over the Mysterios, when Omos pins Dominic with a chokeslam to make defense number 1 of the SmackDown Tag Team titles. That actually surprises me. Have they not defended the belts before now? I guess not. 71 for Omos, 85 for AJ, 80 for Ray, and a 70 for Dominic. That's pretty, I guess, okay. It sort of balances out, I guess. If you take the 5 off AJ and the 5 off... Yeah. We then got a hype video for the feud between Sasha Banks, or Queen Sasha even, and Tegan Nox. How she got the pinfall. It was literally 2 months ago at this point, on the Go Home show to Cyber Sunday, because Mickey was the referee and she screwed Sasha to try and get the last minute votes in for her to be the referee. And then she got the opportunity for winning the Mixed Match Challenge. Sasha won that by DQ because Mickey attacked Sasha and it was all an elaborate ruse. But Tegan is still owed an opportunity for pinning the champion. And it all culminates here tonight. Tegan Nox, Queen Sasha, the final pay-per-view of the year. Tegan's first pay-per-view match, I believe. Because she wasn't on Team SmackDown. I don't think they've had a tag title match on pay-per-view. Because the champions have also been babyfaces. But Sasha and Tegan, for the title, gets an 81. Which is actually okay, given Tegan needs the boost. And it's what you think it is, Sasha and Tegan having their match. When there's a referee bump, obviously, and then out come all the Boss Girls. And Kylie Ray tries to come out to even the odds and help Tegan out as well. That's just a big brawl. Kylie takes out Bang, takes out Indy and Dana. Mickey drops Kylie with the Mick kick. And Sasha's like, yeah, bitch. And then bang! Mickey gets into the ring and drops Sasha with the Mick kick. And Tegan's like, what the fuck is the plan here? But Mickey just stares at Sasha and walks out. And Tegan's like, what the fuck? But no rest for the wicked. Sasha's getting back to her feet. Bang! Tegan hits the shiny wizard as the referee comes to 2. And we get the slow count. The 1, 2, 3. And we have a new SmackDown Women's Champion. Tegan Nox defeats Queen Sasha in 12:06 with the shiny wizard. Because Mickie James has... I guess it hasn't been a plan this whole time. Well, it has been a plan, but not the plan Sasha thinks it was. Mickie waited until the last minute to lower the bullet. And it just cost Sasha the women's title. 67 for Tegan, 91 for Sasha. And Tegan Nox, with an 81, stands tall with the SmackDown Women's title. We then get this hype video. The first pay-per-view match for either man in quite some time. Ali's, I think, since No Mercy. I think he fought Drew Gulak at No Mercy? Sami, both since No Mercy then, because Sami went away after Roman beat him for the belt, which was at No Mercy, and then Gulak and Ali had their match at No Mercy as well, so yeah. But Ali, he's come back with a new purpose, a new America, and he wants Sami to be a part of it. He thinks Sami's the perfect member for the group. Sami, of course, still a babyface. He's grown his beard out a little bit, but he's reluctant to join Ali's group. He says, Ali, you've got the right idea, but you're going about this the wrong way. But if Ali wins here tonight, Sami will be forced into joining New America. Which is what happens in an 83. Mustafa Ali defeats Sami Zayn in 14:11 by cheating, using the ropes for leverage or something. Or some kind of exposed turnbuckle. Some kind of dastardly move to ram Sami's face into the turnbuckle. And then maybe have a hand on the ropes as well. But Sami's been beaten here. And he must join New America. 84 for Sami Zayn, 78 for Mustafa Ali. 83 for the match overall. And he stands tall, celebrating with Kushida and Babatunde and Mia Yim. Like, holy shit, we did it, Sami. Now you can finally see the light. You can finally be with us. Where you need to be, Sami. You're home. Sami, look at me. He holds his hand out like the retribution thing. He's like, I got you, Sami. And Sami sort of looks up at him. He doesn't want to shake his hand or put his hand next to Ali's. But Ali sort of gives him a look. He's like, bitch, you have to. You're with my group now. And Sami has to reluctantly put his hand up against Ali. And then Babatunde Ayegbusi lays him out and takes Sami to the back. Which was this angle here, but I just explained it all on the match screen, apparently. Now, for the United States Championship match. This is more than just the United States Championship. Bobby Roode banished Dolph Ziggler from the company back at SummerSlam. Loser leaves WWE. And Ziggler was gone until he came back at Survivor Series. He won the 24/7 Title Island Challenge to earn a shot at the US title, which had to be honoured, despite him not working for WWE anymore. And Roode was like, well, we can't let him get away with this, make it a triple threat. And then Ziggler pinned Roode to capture the US title. And Roode's like, well, bitch, I want to get rid of him once and for all. He beat Drew Gulak to get this shot. And Ziggler is a fighting champion. He's still going to defend that championship tonight against Roode. And for Roode, it's more about than just taking the title. Of course, he wants the title, but he also never wants to see Dolph Ziggler around here ever again. In a 91 rated match. What the fuck? Is Bobby Roode really good? Dolph Ziggler really good? I don't know. This is confusing me. Because Roode had that banger with Cesaro. I can't remember what pay-per-view that was. I think it was at No Mercy. And yeah. In a 91 rated match. The match of the weekend. Better than Cesaro versus Walter, apparently. Bobby Roode cheats to win in 14:53. With a handful of tights. Glorious DDT onto some sort of weapon, I guess. And he steals the US title off Dolph Ziggler. 85 for Ziggler, 83 for Roode, who is well known. He's not a star, so we got away with it. So is Ziggler, by the way. So the only person who's I've maintained that no one above well known can win the Midcard titles rule apart from with Woods, but the exception to the rule was literally unless there's already a goal that specifies that someone can win the Midcard title that is a star. So, yeah. But the goal for getting Roode over 70s by 2022 has been smashed. I think he's at like 75. Yep, somehow still not a star at that pop. Actually, no, I think 75 is the point where they become stars. So he must be at like 72 or something. I'll probably go over it in the end of year review, end of year awards video. I'm not going to do a complete goal overview because I just don't think I am. But I'll go over like the popularity of some guys as well. And now the main event. Johnny freaking Wrestling gets his chance to dethrone the tribal chief. Roman Reigns smashed everybody in his way since he captured that championship. He smashed Sami Zayn. He smashed Samoa Joe, Cesaro, Buddy Murphy, Big E, Finn Balor and Ronnie Hughes at Survivor Series. He even smashed The Rock. It wasn't a championship match, but he smashed him at Survivor Series and left him laying. And now it's Gargano. Will it be Gargano's turn? Or will the ultimate underdog, Rebel Heart, come out on top? When boom, Rebel Heart hits. I've specifically not mentioned a song when Gargano's been having the promos recently because I knew I was saving, because you had the big return to Rebel Heart moment in real life, so I knew I had to do it. It was being saved specifically for the pay-per-view. He makes his entrance, Rebel Heart, Rebel Heart. And obviously Roman Reigns makes his usual entrance, his big 8-minute long entrance for the main event. Johnny had a gimmick that was getting stale, I noticed in the last segment, so when I went back to change his picture, I've also changed that to Johnny Wrestling. It's great. No pros or cons. but it's now time for the main event. Rebel Heart has hit, Roman's entrance has been finished, and the match gets an 81, apparently. I thought they had the psychology to go 22 minutes, but apparently not. They just would in real life, but whatever. This is fucking stupid. And obviously I've got the hope spots in my mind. You'd get that one spot, but you think Gargano steals it. He gets the super kick. Bang. Second super kick, moments on his knees. Bang. 1, 2, last minute kick out. You'd get Roman going for a spear, countered into the Gargano escape, which, you know, we saw him visually tap out to just 2 nights before on SmackDown. But obviously, in the end, he goes for that big DDT. I don't know if it'd still be called one final beat as a babyface. I don't think he actually hit it in real life. But Roman catches him, guillotine. Johnny fights his hardest. He fights his hardest, but he passes out. He doesn't submit. He passes out to the guillotine, 21:55. And the Tribal Chief remains at the head of the table. 92 for Roman Reigns and a 84 for Gargano. And apparently they don't have enough psychology to go 22 minutes. And then we get the end of the show. Johnny's laying down on the floor, beaten. He's come to, he's sitting in the corner with his head in his hands. Before he just walks to the back in disappointment that he feels like he's let everybody down here tonight. And then Roman stands tall. Pyro blares as he holds the championship up high. We get the little copyright graphic in the corner. And we get signed off from the announce team.
Burn it down!
But the show's not over, folks. Because Seth freaking Rollins is back. We haven't seen him since SummerSlam when the Tribal Chief was born. In the main event of night 2, he'd come out. He'd have like a black hoodie, black jeans, and all that. But he'd have the hood up, and the hoodie would be zipped up. I've pictured this moment in my head many a times recently, because yes, I do sit here and listen to like entrance music and shit when I'm booking, because it helps me get into the mood, you know. And I've imagined this moment in my head many times. Seth's got the hood up. He's just all black, dressed in all black. He'd take the hood down and he'd have like his hair sort of like slicked back. He'd take obviously whatever's tying his hair out and he'd shake his hair around so he gets the messy Seth Rollins hair. And then he'd unzip the black hoodie. He'd take the hoodie off like one arm at a time, throw it on the floor. He'd have some new merchandise that says Seth freaking Rollins is back or something, burn it down. He'd have a steel chair in his hand. And then he storms to the ring. And then Roman goes for a Superman punch as soon as Seth slides into the ring. He ducks. Bang, big kick to the midsection. Like that big backward super kick he does to the gut. Like before he goes for the stomp a lot of the time. He goes for that and then bang, like 5, 6, 7 chair shots to the back of Roman. And he's grounded. Another one of those big super kicks takes Roman to his knees. He gets Seth backing up into the corner and he's firing up for the curb stomp. And he charges towards Roman, who then rolls away under the bottom rope. And back up the ramp. Taking the championship with him, holding it up high on the ramp. Actually, no, probably not holding the belt high, but he just got the belt over his shoulder as he holds his jaw in pain. And Heyman's like, oh my god, my Tribal Chief. To end the pay-per-view. 87, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's a pretty good way to end the year. And what matters more than the 87, of course, is what you thought of the show. So do let me know what you thought in the comments below. And I'll see you next time, tomorrow, for the end of year awards, which will be the first actual show in-game of 2022, but I think it'll be going up on New Year's Eve in real life. I'm going to predict someone from New Japan to win the Male Wrestler of the Year, and probably Io to win Female Wrestler of the Year. We'll have to see if I'm correct next time. See you then.